Hello Libra, this is your last horoscope for 2022. Can you believe it? Hey Libra, welcome back. As I said, this is your last horoscope for 2022. We're going to enjoy a new moon in Capricorn on Friday, the 23rd of December, if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. So if you're in the northern, I think that's the 22nd. Yeah. Anyway, a couple of days before holiday season. So let's use it. And let's a great way to think about it might be, if you can harness your Capricorn, what you know of Capricorn and how you can relate to that sign, there's a responsibility with Capricorn. There's discipline that's attached to that too. There's a feeling of kind of steadfastness and a feeling of creation as well. Capricorn creates, they work a lot. For you, for a Libra rising, Capricorn rules your fourth house, which is where we experience safety. It's our root system. It represents our home, our ancestry, and our relationship to that. Already, I'm feeling something quite solo in that space. When I think of Capricorn, I do think of cardinal energy. Like you've got that in common. And there's a not unlike you, I should say, Libra, there is a solo kind of feeling to Capricorn. There's a loneliness, maybe. Self-sufficiency, absolutely, but definitely a singularity. And this is interesting energy to relate to a fourth house, to a root system, to a home environment. There's, in the positive way, there's a great kind of feeling of working and building that space. This might be where this lunation can be of help for you, Libra, is to, if you're thinking about establishing foundations, or if you're thinking about enforcing those roots, that home, then this would be a great lunation to, as we always do at a new moon, to magic it in, to ask for it, to write it down, to write down your wishes of what you hope to achieve in that fourth house, that place of privacy. The astrology is pretty, on your chart, let's say bottom heavy, because not only do we have the sun and the moon at 1 degree of Capricorn, there's also Venus, also Mercury, and of course Pluto, which has been in that space, been in Capricorn, been lingering in your fourth house, interestingly enough, since 2008. And Pluto does bring with it a disintegration. So have a look at your chart and see if you've got any planets in Capricorn as well, because there might be an extra emphasis on these regenerative qualities. Venus and Mercury, there's great communication in there, isn't there? There's great, almost like when I see Venus in Capricorn, there's a strictness as well. There's definitely a directive. So I can see architecture for whatever reason. I can see this being, it depends on what your taste in architecture is, but I sort of see like very clean lines and sort of cement, sort of, no gilding, just utility, but like absolutely beautiful. Like that's what I don't know if you're building a house, but anyway, that's what I see for this Venusian energy in Capricorn in a fourth house. There's something else that I wanted to point out to you as well before we get into some tarot, Libra. The lunation, so the sun and the moon are at 1 degree of Capricorn. They're squaring off Jupiter in Aries. So for you, Aries is your 7th house, which is your house of relationship, your house of your beloveds. So Jupiter in that area is going to be really lovely. You're going to enjoy that for the next months, to have that Jupiterian energy, which we did experience this year, but then remember Jupiter retrograded back into Pisces and has just stationed direct again. And so we'll be at 0 degrees of Aries at this lunation, at this new moon on the 23rd. We've got lots to look forward to with that. And we've also got a lovely conjunction with Chiron to look forward to. So perhaps some wounding in relationship, some feelings of whatever it is, tender spots that might be lingering around your 7th house of companionship. There'll be a great moment with Jupiter's help to salve some of that. Right now, I think that we need to respect the strictness of Capricorn, because it is a square, so we almost don't want to. There's a responsibility and there's something about limits that we need to really recognize at this lunation. So in a practical, methodical way, let's approach our 4th house. Let's approach our root system, our home, our foundation, our ancestry with preparations and drafts. Let's get that architecture imageries come back to me. Let's get out a blueprint and let's draft up this thing, whatever, use that metaphor however it lands. If you're like me, then you're in no position to build anything. But as far as that's actually not true. Building something has got little to do with ownership, and it's got little to do with I just got an interesting wave of an emotion just then as I disallowed myself from that space of creating home and space. Remember, the last lunation was in my 4th house in Gemini. Well, this is now hitting you, Libra, but this is a new moon, so there's a pragmatism and an optimism here. But yeah, back to that thought. If you're a renter, Libra, you have every right to feel at home wherever it is that you pay your money. If you are feeling like you're sort of swinging from monkey bar to monkey bar and kind of perhaps, because I'm thinking, I've got Pluto in my mind again. I apologize if the messages are going this way and that way, but let's really talk about it. There may have been ruptures in the home for you over this last generation, this last bit of time. And if I'm talking to folks that don't have resources to purchase something, that don't have, that kind of idea of like setting foundations, setting a root system, letting it steep in, it does feel inaccessible to some people. I think at this lunation, I'd like to remind everyone that you have rights where you live. If you're a renter, you have rights to create a beautiful, welcoming, nurturing home in that space that you rent. There's lots of interesting things going on in the world right now for folks that are attempting to purchase themselves some stability. And it reminds the others that have very limited access to that goal. It reminds us of our own instabilities. And I think that as we move forward, as we enter the age of Aquarius, as we keep our eyes and our ears open for the good will and the well-being of every human being, we can separate ourselves from the idea of us and them. And I want for you, my Libras who rent, at this lunation, at this Capricorn new moon, I want you to ask for, to call in, to reestablish sense of stability and control and welcome in your home, wherever that is. And for those that are about to engage and embark on perhaps building something, or if you do find yourself in a fortunate position where you do have something, then it might be a really great lunation to reflect on this good fortune and then consider the others in your environment that don't. In your beautiful Libran way, which is all about justice and equity, I'd like for you to expand your mind at this Capricorn new moon. And when you're writing your drafts, consider how others are involved in that and how others can feel a sense of security too. There are old systems, as we know, that are dissolving right now. And what we can look forward to is the birthing of new systems that perhaps have more of us in mind. I'm looking at Jupiter in your 7th house as well, sorry. There's going to be time for this. There's going to be a lovely period where Jupiter resides in your 7th house and coming into that lovely conjunction with Chiron too. So when it comes to relationship, I'm almost, it's sort of like, not that you need to resist that area at all, but definitely know that there is going to be lovely time to focus on that area. Maybe when it comes to the end of the year, when it comes to this lunation falling at a time of, sort of holiday, for us in the West, that that there's different rituals that are enacted at this time of the year. It's the changing of the seasons, it's the solstice, it's the ending of one calendar year into the next. There's responsibility that can be found at this new moon. There's active choices that you can make to include other folks. There's active choices that you can make to provide sanctuary for other people as well as yourself. And the exuberance of your personal relationships is something that we can focus on next year. But for whatever reason, Libra, and I don't know why, but that's the message for you. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure if it's ringing in your ear and if it's working out what you can hear. Yeah. It's actually the only reading that I'm now second guessing myself. And I don't even know what I mean by it exactly. But I think, I'm justice, equity, right relationship. If we're talking about your root system, your privacy, your access to the hearth, to comfort, I think it's because it's this time of year. Let's face it, Libra. It's the holidays. It's, the perfect season to watch Batman Returns. But this part of the year can bring up a lot of different emotions and a lot of different fears and sorrows that folks have kept a lid on up until this point. And for whatever reason, this seems to be the period, this period of time that is so focused in on as far as time to come together and be mirthful and, appreciating our successes and spend. All of that stuff can obviously be a lovely time of sharing and celebration, it can, for a lot of people, bring up a lot of pain, particularly those that have such a checkered relationship with their fourth house. I think this is why this is coming out the way that it is, Libra. And so if you're struggling with this right now, I'd love for you to use this Capricorn new moon as I'd like for you to use it as a moment of hope for yourself. And if you find that you've got all that you need at this lunation, Libra, then I would cast my eye a little further out. And I would wonder and see who might need a bit of support in grounding and in welcome. Yeah. Happy holidays. Sorry, Libra. I don't know why, but that's what I see in the planets. That's how the readings come out. I'm committed to that being. I hope it was a helpful message, and I wish you all the best through this time that is different for everyone. And I look forward to entering the new year with you as well, Libra, and I look forward to celebrating with you the start of the new year in the zodiac. When we get to 1 degree, when the sun enters 1 degree of Aries, I want us to have another celebration together. One that is maybe separate from consumerism so much, that is separate from the culture that is built up around us of expressing love through emblems of our material success. Yeah. I love you heaps. Write me a comment in the comments below. Let me know what you'd like to see of me next year as well. I've got some ideas, and I'm loving these horoscopes, and I'm loving the private readings that I've been organising with all of you. It's been I feel so helpful doing this work. I'd like to expand upon it. I'd like to take my next I'd like to take it further. So give me some suggestions. What would you like to see, and how do you like to interact with this stuff? I know that the tarot has been kind of light lately, and I've been thinking about the sort of pick a card readings and stuff like that. I think in some ways my astrological language is very helpful to relate it to the tarot, but do let me know if you'd like to put down the sky for a moment and just do the cards, just get intuitive, then let me know. For return clients, you can also book a witch reading on my website too. That's all tarot. But yeah, anyway, happy holidays. I love you very much, Libra, and I hope that made sense, and I'll speak to you next year. Bye.